Hey everybody, it's gonna be a little bit of a different video. This guy named Jay Marcos gave me this new RPG weapon from the marketplace. Here it is right here, and thought that I would make a quick tutorial on how to put it in my product on the marketplace, the multiplayer zombie survival template. So let me just hop in. I'll show you what it looks like. Finished product. Nice RPG with some sway when you walk back and forth. You can shoot. Cover your ears because it's very loud. You can reload. And you can switch between weapons. And the cool thing about this is you can actually switch to the third person and the animations line up and work in third person. So you can shoot it. Reload. See it lines up perfect. So you can switch between the two, and everything works. You can even kill boss zombies like this. So I'm going to show you how to add this into the template, and we're going to go through it step by step. I have two YouTube videos on this, one for first person and one for first person, one for third and for first. I don't know how I said that. But we're just going to go through anyways and do it all in one video here. So I have a brand new project here with my template and the RPG added, and we're just going to start out by opening up the weapons folder and open up the weapon info table. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the rocket launcher that's already in the template, and I'm just going to change it. But you can also duplicate it if you wanted to. Which, let's just go ahead. We'll duplicate this and call it RPG. Let's see here. Rename. We'll call it RPG. Okay, and then you just go down the list here. We're going to go, it might be a long video, but we're just going to go down the list, change all the stuff to what it needs to be. So I'm going to call it RPG7 because that's the name, the name in the marketplace. And now we need a weapon blueprint. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the little browse to asset, and we are going to find where's this? The parent blueprint, parent weapon blueprint. Right click it, create a child. We'll call it RPG BP, and we'll open that up, and then we need to change our models. So we want to change this skeleton mesh. I'm going to click the third person, and then I'm going to hold control and click the first person mesh, and we're going to change them both in one go. I'm going to change them to RPG7, and there we go. And next I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click third person, and I'll hold left control, and I'm going to click the first person muzzle. And we want to put this, get the grid to like 1 here. We want to put this where the muzzle is. Let's see here, location, reset this, and then put it where you want it. That's where the effects will play when you shoot the rocket launcher. Alright, and compile and save that. And I have this other project that I've already completed it on to save us some time. So let's just go ahead and we want to adjust our aiming point. So let's get the exact spot here. I'm going to copy this and paste it into mine, and then I'll show you the exact numbers. So the aiming point, this is where when you aim down sights, but we want it set to 2 on the X, and that's negative 3.224 on the Y, and 17.05 on the Z. So you can see them right here. On the location, that's what you want. And let me just make sure, yep, that's all good. So now that we have that, we're not going to use left hand IK because I don't think we need it. So that'll give us our blueprint. Let's go back to the data table and add that in. So the second option, weapon blueprint, we will change that to RPG PP. Alright, and we're going to leave it a projectile weapon, single, our weapon animation set. Right now it's set to rifle, and all we have is pistol and unarmed. So let's go ahead and make a new one. So let's go to our folder, we'll go to HGT, weapons, and weapon anims enum, and we're going to click up here where it says add enumerator. We're going to make a new one, and I'm going to call it RPG. Save that, and then back in the weapon data table, we'll change it from a rifle anim set to RPG. And then the next thing we want to do is first person weapon socket. So let me look at my existing one here. It's a lot easier since I've already done it. It'll be quicker to just copy what I've already done. We want gun socket for our first person. I don't believe that we have that set up yet, so let me just go ahead and we're gonna do that. Where's this at? 1 second. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the RPG's arms, the arms that came with the RPG asset, which I'm just going to filter for them. Skeleton. Okay, so here's the mannequin arms. That's the skeletal mesh. Is there a way we can browse to that? Yeah. Alright, so we want to delete the mannequin arms skeleton that came with the RPG. So it's under RPG, demo, first person character, arms. And you got these SK mannequin arms skeleton. We want to click it, delete it, and then where it asks you, before you delete it, it asks you what you want to change to. We're going to do our own mannequin, UE4 mannequin. This is the file path right there's HGT characters. You click that one and replace references. And it'll say you're about to replace all these references with your skeleton. You hit OK. Save. Save all. Give it a second. Hope that Unreal doesn't crash. And maybe it did crash. Nice. Very nice, Unreal 5. Alright, we're gonna just send and restart then. It's probably because I have 2 instances open and a lot of assets open on both projects, but welcome to the Unreal Engine 5, right? So bear with me here while it reopens. But basically what we're doing is we're just getting the skeleton with the joints and stuff from the RPG asset and combining it into my existing skeleton. That way we don't have to use multiple skeletons and stuff. Everything will use and share the same skeleton. Alright, let's open everything back up and see what we got to do here. So it's looking like this video is going to take a while. Let's see. RPG, demo, first person, character, arms. There it is. So I guess it did get deleted. Let me make sure. Yep. Alright, so it deleted like we wanted, I believe. We just need the open up what we had going. So now that you got that and hopefully yours didn't crash, we're going to open up the weapons, weapon info table, and let's go back to our RPG and where were we at? We were, let's see, weapon anim set, RPG, and make sure this is an RPG blueprint. And then let's see, we need the first person weapon socket. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up our HGT characters, mannequin, character, mesh, and we have UE4 mannequin skeleton. And this is where we should have our guns stuff here. So let's see. One second here. Alright, so do I have to make this? I guess I do. So this is under IK handgun. We make a thing called gun socket. So we're going to open up our skeleton. For the mannequin, we find IK handgun. Right click it and add socket. And I'm going to call it gun socket. And then let's make sure it's in the right spot. So this looks like relative location. I'll show you these. I'm just going to paste them in real quick. And copy, paste. There we go. Alright. And let's just go ahead. I'm going to remove all attached actors, and then we'll just add our RPG as a preview actor here. And under preview scene, I'm just going to do an animation. We'll do RPG, even though it's not showing up because I haven't updated it probably. Don't worry about it. Go back to details here, and this is what our gun socket needs to be set to. So we click on gun socket, and your relative location should be negative 9.7405. The Y should be 5.28, and the Z should be 1.46. And the rotation should be 18.7, negative 3.5, and 81.43. And that's the socket that we're going to use for our weapon. So we'll go back to the data table, and under our FP weapon socket, which is first person, we're going to use the, what do we call it, gun socket. So we're going to take and type that name into our data table, gun socket. And then for third person, we are going to use the RPG socket, which I haven't created yet. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So that is under our hand right. So we go to our skeleton, we find the hand underscore R, right click it, add a socket. I'm going to call it RPG underscore socket, and then I got to make sure I put it in the right spot. So the right spot for RPG socket is this one right here. And you can adjust these sockets locations if you want. I've just played with them already and got it all set up, so that way it saves a little more time, because you know how it can get. These are the sockets for the RPG socket. You got negative 10.528, you got 5.477, you got 1.451, and then on the rotation you got 19.26, negative 1.018, and 78.834. You can pause the video and look at those if you want. Alright, so now we have the two sockets. Let's make sure we have this name of RPG socket, and make sure we put that under third person weapon socket. There we go. And you can adjust the stowed weapon socket. That's the socket that when you don't have it equipped, it puts it on your back. I'm just going to leave it as stowed weapon socket for now. We want to make sure use procedural ADS is checked true. And let's just go ahead and make sure I'll compare here. I set my ADS speed to 2 instead of 5. I set it to 2, so it's a little slower. We don't want IK, so we'll uncheck that box. And then our animations. So we got to go through these. So we want RPG fire montage. So that'll be RPG fire, but I don't think I have those. Sometimes when you delete the skeleton, it doesn't let you pick until you go and actually open them, because it likes to be a pain. So let's just go ahead and open up animation montages here. See if it'll let me scroll through these things. I think you just have to open them one by one to let you to refresh them. So it's a little annoying, but there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and refresh, open up each animation for the animation sequence as well. Just go through each of these. And you might not have to do this. If it lets you pick them from the drop down menu, then great. I think it might have just been because mine crashed when I was deleting the skeleton. Unreal Engine at its finest. Just making my video a little longer. But at least you know. We're all in this together. With Unreal Engine and its funky bugs. Especially if you're using 5. Alright, so let's see. Now that we got the sockets and stuff and we got the montages open and refreshed, we should be able to type in RPG and we have RPG fire montage. There we go. Alright, and I use that for both. It comes with an aim iron sight shooting montage, but for third person it doesn't look right, so I just use the fire montage for both the aiming and not aiming. For third person, switch weapon montage, I use the one I already have, and then let's see, RPG reload for the reload montage, so we'll just do that. RPG 7 reload montage. Where's that at? There it is. First person arm shoot montage. Same thing as the other one. Just RPG fire montage. What else do we have? First person arm shoot montage. First person arm aiming shoot montage. That's the ADS shoot. So let's browse to that one. Alright, so let's see. I may have actually just duplicated the firing montage. You can find the RPG fire montage and just call it the RPG ADS shoot montage. I did it for an animation reason that we'll cover probably later. For now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to duplicate the fire montage and we're going to use that as the aiming shoot montage. RPG ADS shoot montage. Let's see. Weapon shoot montage. That's the one for the actual bazooka itself, which is the RPG firing montage. RPG 7 firing montage. Where is that? It's not cooperating with me. There it is, that one. That's the one we want. The first person put away montage. Let's see, where's that at? We'll keep that one, and then the pull out, we're going to use the RPG raise. So the pull out, first person pull out montage, PG7 raise montage. And then reload is RPG reload. Where's this at? Right there? Yeah. Like I said, it's just weapons. There's a million different things, but at least they're all right here. You just drop down and picking options. The weapon reload, which should be this one, RPG gun reload. And then our muzzle flash, we're gonna use the rocket launcher muzzle flash, which is, where's this? RPG effects. So RPG effects, muzzle flash front. We're going to use that, and then the fire sound. What do we got here? Rocket launcher fire cue. So we'll use the same thing. We'll go rocket launcher fire cue. These are all just included with the product by default. What else? We have the launcher, the impact effect, which is the explosion. So we want that as our explosion. Our FOV, we want to set that to 90 when you zoom in. And then the reload sound. I did not use a reload sound because it comes with the reload sound built in the animation montage, so I'm just going to clear that. Shot count, let's see, leave that, leave these. You can adjust the ammo if you want, but I assume a rocket launcher is only going to have one in the clip, so I'll leave this in 1 and then change the stock to how much you want in the reserve. All this is fine. You can adjust the damage and radius and range and all that here if you want to do that. What else do we have? The recoils, you can adjust those if you want. Projectile type. So I'm going to browse to it by clicking this little icon here. And I'm just going to right click the rocket projectile and duplicate it. And I'm going to call it the RPG projectile BP. Or just projectile. Alright, then I'm going to open it up. And we're going to edit it to make it look like the rocket launcher. So here's the viewport. This is what it looks like right now. But we want to change the projectile mesh to an actual RPG7. Okay, maybe it's not called that. Let me look at this other one. Projectile. It is a SM Rocket Full is the name of it. So we're going to change that to SM Rocket Full. And we got to change the scale back to 1. And we need to change the material by clicking the reset there. And I believe we have to rotate this -90 degrees. -90. And then you want to back the rocket up behind the collision sphere here. Somewhere in there. So this will hit first like a normal rocket would and explode. And let's make sure that looks good. Yep. And there's a couple other little thing we can add in here for the event graph. We can add this camera shake. So when it actually hits and explodes, right here on the event hit, scroll to the end right after apply damage, just paste in, or you can type this in. Right click, say get actor location, and create that node, and then just right click and do play world camera shake. And we're going to use the one that came with it, which is the CS rocket explosion. So CS rocket explosion is the class type, and you can change the values here. for the radius, inner and outer, and the fall off. But basically what it is when this rocket hits something and it blows up, it'll shake the camera of anything that's within its inner and outer radius. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go back to the weapon data table and change this rocket projectile to our new RPG projectile. Can projectile damage self? This is up to you. If you want to be able to blow yourself up with it, leave it checked. If you don't want to kill yourself with it, uncheck it. So if you uncheck it, you'll be able to just shoot it straight down. You won't kill yourself. The projectile particle effect is when it's flying through the air. That cool looking smoke trail effect. That is. Scroll down here. Projectile launcher trail, P rocket launcher trail. So that would be. Where's that one? Is it this one? No, this one. P rocket launcher trail. Plug that in. Yeah. Okay, and let's see. Then you can adjust the inner and outer radius. I think I got mine set to 250 and 650. So 250 and for the inner, 650 for the outer. You can adjust those all you want. Then you need the explosion sound. So let's see here. Rocket launcher explosion Q. Rocket launcher explosion Q. And that should be it for all the values for this new weapon that we have here. Now, that's not everything done yet, but we're getting there. We should have the weapon in the game now. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the what color player am I? The white player. So if I open up that character just for demo purposes, I'm gonna go to child and I'm gonna open up character white and I'm gonna give him starting weapon and I'm gonna give him RPG, and then I should have that when I open the game now. Yeah. So as you can see, we have an RPG. We just haven't got it all set up right with animations. You can see I'm aiming with it. So we have it in the game. We just don't have the animations all working right yet. So let's fix that up. And let's see, the first thing we want to do is we're going to go to our, let's go to HGT characters, base character, third person character. Open him up, look at the viewport. The first thing I want to go to his first person arms. We'll get that working first. So first person arms, click that, and on the animation class you can browse to the first person anim BP. Open it up, and this is where we're going to set up some things. So let's go to the animation graph, and if we find this blend poses here, right click it, you can add, where is it? RPG at the very bottom. Add a new pin for RPG, and this is where we're going to do our RPG stuff. So what we need here is, I'm going to look at the other one. We just have idle, walk, sprint. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to copy the rifle one, paste it right here. We're going to call this one RPG Locomotion. Open it up, and inside the animations we don't really have a jump. You can add them if you want, and all you do is just plug them in here if you have animations, but this one doesn't really have any animations for jumping, so we'll get rid of the jump loops and jump ins. We're just going to keep it simple and just use the idle, walk, and sprint. And we'll open up idle, And let me just double check this one that's already done for me. We're just gonna get the blend by bool is aiming, and then we plug in the RPG idle and these. Let me do that. So I'm just gonna delete the stuff that's already in there, and this is what we're gonna make. You would just right click, you say blend poses by bool, and you connect that in here, and then you get the is aiming variable, which is down here on the left hand side. Drag it in, connect it into this, and then we need the RPG idle, which would come over here. We type in RPG7, and we need the idle animation. And what I do is I just copy it twice. Get this out of my way here. And plug it in here, and then click on the top one, and under here we're going to find the play rate, which is right here, and under bind you click it and just expose it as a pin and set the play rate to 0. And what that does is since we're using procedural aimed on sights, we're just using the idle animation while you're aiming, and you want it to stop playing the play rate, so that way you can aim down the sights and everything looks good. So you can just trust me on that one. Alright, so then we're going to go back and we're going to open up the walk, FPP walk. I'm going to delete this stuff again. And pretty much I think we're just going to do the same thing, only with different animations. So yeah, if you look here, we have the exact same thing, only you're using the same idle animation for true, but walking animation for false. So what you can do is you can copy the one you just made here in the idle, open up walk, paste it right here, and then delete this one and just put in the walk animation, which is right here, walk anim. You just drag it in, plug it in like that, and done. Okay, and then we're going to open up sprint, and that's where I believe we just plug in our run animation. So we find RPG run anim, drag it in, plug it in, and compile and save. And now we're in the animation graph, and I'm just going to drag off of this and make a new saved cache. I did that too fast. Hold on. Drag off, type in CACHE, and it says new saved cache pose, and you click yes, and you click it and rename it to RPG cache. And then you can come up here and right click and type RPG cache, and it'll say use cache pose RPG cache, and you say yeah, and you plug that in, and I'll comment this as RPG anims. And now hopefully we'll have some sort of working rocket launcher. There we go. So I can move around, I can sprint, I can aim, I can jump, and everything works. I don't think the montages work yet. So as you can see, it's loud. There's no reload, there's no shooting montage. So let's get that working now. So we'll save, and we need to open up the montages. So let's see here. To get the montages working, we have to, I put a slot for upper body. So let's do that. Third person character, first person arms. So right here, where we were just working, I'm gonna use I'm going to just type slot, and then I'm going to click this and change it from default to upper body. And I think this was for, what do you call it? The third person anims, but hey, not sure. We'll figure it out. As we go along, there's that, and then we need to get these the montage is working. So let's go ahead and open up some of these montages for the RPG. So like reload is a good one. We need to set that to upper body. So yeah, that was wrong. It's not for third, it's for first. So let's go open up all these montages. We'll start with reload. Unreal Engine 4 and 5 and maybe even versions of 4. They're all different looking, but it's all right here in a different form or way, but it's all here. And you change the slot. So right now it's set to arms. We want to change this to slot name upper body. And you can click and drag that to refresh the animation, and now reload should work. And let's just go ahead and open up each one. We'll change them to, instead of arms, we'll change it to upper body. And inspect. That's another thing that's cool with this. It comes with an inspect animation. New slot, upper body. No, not new. Not bad. See, that's, you want to change it to upper body. You don't want to make a new slot. There we go. Fire montage. Slot name, upper body. Save. Slot name, upper body. Save. So it's kind of tedious, but that's game development for you. Upper body, save. Okay, so now that I've got those refreshed and all set to upper body, cover your ears, here comes the shot. Okay, so now he's reloading. And does it play the switch weapons now? Yeah. Okay. So at least we got some animations working here. But we have to open up the montage for these and get these working as well. So for the actual gun to shoot. So let's do that. Let's see. That RPG that we made. So if you on the data table, scroll back up to where we had the weapon blueprint, which was RPG. Browse to it, open it up, and open the full blueprint editor. And we got to set our third person and first person animation montage, or no, animation blueprint to RPG7. We click that, compile, save, and I'm going to browse to that RPG7. This is the one that comes with the asset. I'm going to open it up, and it's a very simple animation blueprint. But we're going to go ahead and do a little tweak into it. So, let's see, we don't need that. So all we need is this, it's just the rocket launcher's animation blueprint. But we're going to do some tweaking in here. So let's see, RPG. So what we want is, there's an event called Blueprint Initialize Animation. So we're going to get event, and then scroll to the top, initialize animation, and we're just going to get the owning actor, get owning actor, and cast that to parent weapon BP, and then we want to promote this to a variable, parent weapon BP. Let's call it weapon reference. And let's also do an is valid check here. So we'll have this, and we'll have this. And I'm going to change this thing as, there. The name of that variable is weapon reference. So that gives us our weapon reference here. And what else do we got to do here? We need to hide and show the actual RPG. What I'm going to do is I'll copy all this and I'll explain it. So there we go. We got this. Plug it into here. So it's just hiding the actual rocket launcher, the actual rocket at the end of the launcher. So the first thing we want to do is this variable called weapon reference. We'll drag it into here, then drag off into an isValid, then drag off of it and say get owning player reference, which is right here. Then drag up into an isValid for it, and then drag off of it to get an is reloading into a branch. Drag off to get the current weapon ammo clip and the active weapon slot out of the owning player reference. Then you use a get node, which is just drag off this and say get a copy, and then plug this into there. And then you drag off of this and do is this greater than 0? And if true, then you're going to take the weapon reference right here, drag it up, drag off, and get the first person weapon mesh, which you drag off, you type in FP, and scroll down to the bottom, and it says get FP mesh, and you click it, and it makes this node. And that's where, if true, you're going to show the RPG, which means you have ammo, so show the actual RPG at the end of the gun. And if not, you hide it. And this one, make sure you have on the true branch, make sure you have it set to element 1 and the material set to nothing. And on the one where you wanted to hide, have the element set to 1, but you want the material set to this m underscore cut m. Yeah, I can browse to it to show it to you. This one, m underscore cut. So that will show and hide the rocket launcher based on if you have ammo or not. And then there's a couple other things we got to do for the actual RPG firing montage. So what I did was, let's see, firing montage. I put a notify about 6 seconds in to hide the RPG. So what we're going to do is we open up the RPG firing montage right here, right? We're going to scroll this to about right there, 6 seconds. And then on notify, right here where it says 1, you right click, add notify, scale, new notify, and we'll call it RPG hide. Save that. And then on the reload animation, RPG gun reload is where we're going to actually show it. So where did I put that one? Gun reload. That's about 4.8% into it. So let's see, 4.8% is like right there ish. There. And what did I call this one? Show RPG. Right click, add notify, new notify, show RPG. Okay, save that. And now we go back to that animation blueprint that we were working on here, and we should have some skeletal notifies. So if I just type in RPG, we have 2 of them up here. Notify RPG hide and RPG show. And we're going to do the exact same thing, I believe, that we just did. Yeah. So let me just go ahead and do that. So up here where I just showed you these show and hide for the RPG, we're going to copy and paste these, and on the hide is where we plug in hide, and on the show is where we plug in show. And you also want to do this for the drag off weapon reference and get TP mesh. Scroll down and get that. TP mesh. And you want to plug it in as well, so that way it'll hide it for the third person as well as first. Make sure that looks the same. Yep. And that ought to do it for the actual rocket launcher showing and hiding there. And if we go back in the game, there we go. Now it's looking right. Let me go into this and see what it looks like here. Yeah. So now we have the rocket launcher. I may have, I don't know if I got that socket right, but for third person. We'll look at that in a second. So now that we have that right, what's next? I mean, we pretty much have it all working. Let's just double check a few things. So we have that. We have aiming. We got animation. Oh, we didn't set up in the third person. That's why the third person doesn't look right. We need to go to the animation blueprint for the actual character. So if you open up the third person character and you browse to his animation blueprint and open it up in the animation graph, that's where we're going to work on next. So let's see, that's third person character. Open it up. We'll go to the anim graph. And it's similar to what we were just doing, where you have the poses here, you right click it, add RPG, and now we just have to make the new stuff. So what I did was, I'll just copy and paste it in there so I can show you. It's pretty easy to do. You pretty much can copy and paste. Yeah. You can copy and paste this one right here that's already in there for the rifle. Just copy this, paste it down here, and of course it's going to say, yeah, we'll just do it from scratch this way. So, copy this, paste it. Only we need to make a new anim offset for the rocket launcher. And then I think the only thing that I changed was I put a slot for the upper body, so that way the animation would look right. So we're just going to come over this and say slot, default slot, and then change it to upper body so we can share the same animation for reloading and stuff. And then I just cached this, I believe, as new save cache pose, and I call it RPG cache, and then you just come up here and right click and say RPG cache, and then you use the cache pose RPG, plug it in like that, and then you have the RPG. But we haven't made the aim offset for the RPG, so it's not really gonna do anything yet. So we can't plug in the RPG idle anim though. But so let's go ahead and make an animation aim offset. So to do that, let's see, we'll go to the RPG, we'll find the animations, which are somewhere in here. We need the idle animation, RPG idle anim. Browse to this, show in folder. Alright, so I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it aim offset. And then I'm going to take this RPG fire animation. No, this RPG idle animation. I'm going to drag it into the aim offset, and I'm going to say copy here. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to rename this RPG center. Then I'm going to duplicate it and say RPG up, and duplicate that and say RPG down. Alright, save all. And let's see, we'll start with center. There's some settings we got to change in here. So under asset details, we got to scroll down. We got to change this to, where's this? Additive anim type. We want it to mesh space, and then we want to set the base pose type to selected animation frame. And then we want to change this to RPG7 idle anim. Click that, and then that should be it, I believe. We save that, and then we got to open up the next one, which was RPG down, and do the same exact thing, which is under additive anim type, we put mesh space, selected animation frame, and then we select the RPG idle anim, save, do the same for up, we go mesh, selected anim frame, and then RPG idle anim, save. So now we got that. Now let's see, we need to right click, we're going to make a new animation, aim offset 1D, and we're going to pick our skeleton, our Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. I'm going to call it RPG aim offset. We open it up. This is where we're going to change the horizontal axis. We'll change the name of it. It'll be pitch, P-I-T-C-H. We'll go from negative 90 to 90 and 12 for the grid division, and snap to grid. And let's see, any more settings? I believe that's all. And now we just plug in. We got RPG center goes center, down goes on the left, up goes on the far right, and hold control to set preview point, so should be able to see that. Guess not. What did I? Must have missed a tiny step here. Let's see. Grid division 2, so we'll change that instead of 12. It's 2. And oh, it's not playing. Still not going. What did I miss? It should look like this, where you look up and down. It's just an aim offset. Alright, so we have pitch and oh, the preview base pose has to be our idle. So let's scroll down to preview base pose RPG idle animation. That should be it. And double check. Oh, I haven't. I have to actually modify the animations. So let's see. For center is fine, but down we have to adjust things. So open up the down for the RPG down animation. Go to the skeleton tree. We'll start at spine 1. And let me just make sure I have it snapped to this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at spine 1, and I'm just going to pause this and scroll to frame 0. And for down, we'll go down 20 and then hit S to save, and then spine 2, rotate down 20, hit S to save, spine 3, rotate down 20, S to save, clavicle left, down 20, hit S to save, clavicle right, down 20, S to save. Save that. Open up RPG up, do the exact same thing, only in reverse, so you'll just rotate up 20, 1, 2, S to save, spine 2, 1, 2, S to save, spine 3, 1, 2, S to save, clavicle left, save, clavicle right, save, save that. And now when we go to our RPG aim offset and we hold left control, he's moving. Nice. Up and down. You might be wondering, why is that RPG not moving? Well, that's for the first person slot, so it's not going to match up with the third person. But there. Alright, so now we have that. We can go back to our animation blueprint, which was right here for the third person anim blueprint. We can throw in our RPG aim offset. Instead of using this mannequin one, we'll use this one. We'll plug it into here, and we'll plug the pitch into that, and plug that in like that. And that should do it for our aim offset. RPG idle as the base pose, so we'll do that. We don't need the upper body cache. We'll just use RPG idle, which is somewhere in here, as the base pose. So that gives us your that gives you the RPG third person stuff. Let's make sure it works. There we go. So now you can see we're holding the rocket launcher and we can move around. We can look down, we can look up, and everything's good. So that pretty much covers everything for the rocket launcher for third person and first person. But it also comes with a weapon sway, a built-in weapon sway. You don't have to use it if you don't want, because as you can see, it's pretty much done right here. But if you wanted to, you can add it. I'll show you real quick. It's fairly simple to do. Let's see. Oh, let me show you. Let's see. I'm just double checking, make sure I covered everything. Let's see. Let me show you the last thing before we get into the weapon sway. There was like an inspect animation montage that comes with it. So I just set up a little keyboard event for when you press the I button to play a montage, which is the gun inspect on the first person arms. And let me show you what that looks like. It's pretty cool. So you get your rocket launcher out, right? You press I. Check out your nice rocket launcher. And what's cool is that since all these are sharing the same skeleton, I mean, you could use something like the default rifle and inspect it too, and it looks pretty nice. So you get an RPG, but you also have you can reuse it for other weapons, especially if you're using, like this is using mostly all IK for aiming, and IK on that left hand right there. I can adjust that left hand so it doesn't clip through like that, and yeah, you got a free inspect animation for, you could just keep reusing it over and over. So thought that was kind of cool. And let's see, the last thing I wanted to show you, of course, was the weapon sway. So if you look in the content RPG, there's a where is this, a blueprint character somewhere, first person blueprint character, the one that comes with the rocket launcher is what I'm saying. He's got a lot of stuff in here, but I'm gonna show you his blueprint. So in his first person arms, not mine, he has an event called weapon sway that he's calling. If you open it up, it's pretty much this right here. So what you could do is you can copy this, and then in yours you just go, or in mine, you go back to the, let's see, animation blueprint for the first person. Yeah, first person underscore anim BP. This was the one for my template. You just go to functions and you can create a new function, call it weapon sway, and then I just paste in what he had into mine. So I have this function, but you're gonna have to change a few things. So like is aiming, we gotta replace with mine. just a few variable changes here. We don't have this R hand rotation. We got to right click and create the variable. Instead of the as character, we need my player reference instead. And I will show you that. And then let's see. I have it already completed here. I can show you mine just for comparison as we're fixing this up. If I can find it. Alright, so all we really need is we need a move right and this rotation strength. Okay. So, let's go. To finish this, we got to make this variable called move right. So we got to go into the third person character blueprint right here. And in the event graph, we have to find the movement inputs. So move right. We would just make a new variable right here. I'm going to call, let's see, you can make, you know how to make new variables. You come down here, you click the button and make one. But I'm lazy, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. I don't know if it'll let me do that or not. No. Alright, I take it back. I'm not lazy. Let's click the button. Call it move right. Change it to a float. And then just set it to this axis value here for move right. Plug it in. And let me double check that. Where's this? Move right. Yeah, right there. And do we use move forward? Maybe. If we do, we have to add that as well. We'll see. You might have missed that one, but I think that's what he needs. Alright, so now you just drag off of the player reference, say move right. You get it, and I don't think we need this turn and rotation stuff. It's not really set anywhere. Get rid of these. Then we just have ours. You plug it in. I know this might be confusing, but I'm sorry. Multiply it by this rotation strength and default of 3, so take right click this, create a variable, and set the compile and save, and set the default to 3. And I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. Compile, save. I guess it didn't. Come on. Compile, save. There, made it happy. So we got that. And I think we have to do that again. I'm just going to copy this and delete this. Plug that into the value. Compile, save. And I feel like you need to up here move forward. We would make another variable. So just like move right, I'm going to duplicate it. Only, I guess you would call it move forward. And you would set that here. And you plug that in, compile, save, and then maybe we would grab this and say move forward, get that, plug that in like that. I'm going to test that, I don't know, we'll see. If not, we'll plug it back in and move right. It's one or the other. And then that should give you the sway, but then you got to call it inside the event graph. So down here somewhere at the end, we'll do it right after use left hand IK. We'll just call weapon sway and plug it in like that. And then in the anim graph, where we did the RPG anims, we just have to copy some simple little things here. So I'm just going to copy what he has in his thing already. So in his blueprint, let's see, how do we get to it? Anim graph. In his, he's got this already set up here, so I'm just going to copy these 3 yellow nodes. We don't need these things there, we just need those. So copy these 3 into mine, paste them, and then you just take the first one and plug it in like that, and it'll create this little node. And then the last one, plug in like that, creates this little node, and I believe that should make it work. We'll go test it though. I don't know if I don't see no sway. Well, it's doing a little bit because I can see it's doing it while I'm moving. So let's double check what's going on here. Modify IK hand, gun, rotation. Just double checking some stuff here. And let's see. Maybe it was because I did this one. Maybe instead of move forward, it should be move right. Let me double check what I did. Third person. Move forward and move right. I didn't make the sway, so I'm just trying to take what he's done and put it in here the best I can. So that's move right, rotation strength 3. Everything looks right, so let's make sure that's right on ours. Rotation of 3, move right, move right. Everything's plugged in. Compile, save. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's working. Actually, it was probably, where's that? This move forward might be good up there. Let's see what that looks like. P. I can't tell, but I am swaying left and right, so you can see that. It sways left, sways right. You can play around with that, but it's working. I'm swaying left and right. Reload. Third person works, first person. And we're good. And let's see, if you wanted the there's an effect for shooting a smoke out the back of the RPG. You could go into the RPG, go into the montage, and what is this? RPG fire montage. And you would just add in the, where would that be? You would just add the particle effect to the end of the rocket launcher. I did it, let's see, I did it in this one. Where's it at? RPG, montage. I know I did it on the actual rocket there. But I think you have to do it on the fire montage as well. Maybe not. No. Anywho. That's pretty much it though. So it's a cool product. Check it out if you like it. Buy it. It's you can just plug it in. I know this video was very long, but weapons take a lot of tweaking and tinkering, as anybody can tell you if they've ever messed with weapons, because there's just so many animations and so many settings and damage and speeds and you name it. So there's a lot to go into weapons. That's why games like Call of Duty and stuff probably charge a ton of money for all those fancy weapons. But this dude's got it. He gave it to me to try it out and make this cool tutorial, so maybe you'll try it out, and it works with my template great. It's cool. So thanks for watching. I hope that helps. Yeah.